2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He said on 3, so I really panicked.
I said on 3, and then okay, let's do 1, 2. We'll clap on 4. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Burning Daylight.
We're back.
We're back. Or we're here.
Yeah, we're not back.
I guess we're not technically back. We haven't really started.
Run it again.
It's okay. I'm going to leave it all in.
Okay.
Episode 1, Burning Daylight. I am your host.
Yeah.
My name is Vince DiCarlo. I'm a musician, producer, songwriter, hired gun, and spaghetti chef. I love to make spaghetti.
Oh, sous chef is now part of your resume.
I'm trying to work chef in there. I feel like that's if you get chef, I feel like you're doing pretty good. Amateur chef.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, amateur chef. Joining me is my compadre.
The lowly co-host.
The lowly, talented, much more talented co-host than I, Mr. Caden Tooley. Hi, Caden.
How are you, Vince?
I'm pretty good. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
And today on Burning Daylight, we're just going to jump right in. We got Danny Lopez, who is a good friend to you and I both. We've both known him for such a long time.
We have, man.
And I'm just going to tell you right now, because we've already had the conversation. Spoiler alert, it's already happened.
Yeah.
It's maybe the sweetest conversation I've ever had in my life.
I can't imagine how loud it was in here with both of you on the mic.
I'm going to be really honest. I thought it was going to be a lot louder.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that loud.
Great. So very tame.
It was very
calm.
tame. I think he actually he wanted to, he didn't want to goof around.
Great.
He wanted to talk.
No, that's
and
great.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to be two adults. We're going to talk. We talked exclusively about Bitcoin.
Oh,
Not really. Every listener just left. Everyone just went,
everyone's
nope.
unfavoriting
Yeah,
the podcast.
unfavorite. No, we don't. Bitcoin never comes up. That dude has lived an incredible life, and he's an incredible talent.
Yeah, he's a tour de force. Man.
Yeah.
I met him, it must have been 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I came away from with him was just how incredibly talented he was musically, but also he can work a room. I mean, he's a performer.
Dude is such a performer.
1,000%. All the way around in his life. And it's, for some people, you would say that you wouldn't want to hang with those people, that are disingenuous in some way. Like, performers just have a thing. But he's not that, man.
No.
He's not
needy.
Yeah.
He's not a needy performer who he is just he's a pro. He knows how to make people smile.
Yeah.
And we talk about that actually. Thanks for watching, listening. Episode 1, Burning Daylight. Danny Lopez. Danny Lopez.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? We've been, let's pretend like we've not been hanging out talking for the last hour. Thanks for doing this with me.
Of course.
This is the first episode of this. I'm super stoked that you're here. I can't think of anybody else I'd rather sit down and talk to genuinely right now in this moment than you.
That's same.
I want to start with a question. Now I want you to think about this before you answer, because I think a lot of different people would answer this differently.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Okay. Danny.
What's up?
Danny Lopez. What is it that you think that you are best at?
That's a really good question. What do I think that think I'm best at?
Best.
Wow. Just in general?
Just in general.
Oh my God. Woo.
We can take as long as we need.
We might need an hour.
We just found out we've got like 18 hours on this thing.
Man, I think I see this for myself. I always hope this for myself.
Yeah.
And I've heard it confirmed by other people.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to say is the best. If best means you feel very confident in it.
Yeah.
And you are affirmed by others in it.
Yeah.
I think that's a category of being the best at.
Yeah.
I think having a light spirit in any circumstance, hard or fun.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm really good at.
So I've known you for a pretty long time now.
Yeah.
What are we going on, like 5 years?
Yeah.
But people got to understand 5 years and for those who don't know, Danny and I tour together.
Wow.
So when you tour with somebody,
man, you see some things.
touring. I joke. My wife and I both joke about this a lot. In fact, she jokes about it probably more than I do. That I've had more classically romantic moments on the road with other dudes. I've seen more sunsets by more beaches with grown men.
Yo, that's so real.
Than I have with my wife. It's
Wow.
real. Like, it's a real thing. So when you say like, oh, 5 years, it's not really like, you don't really know somebody. Like, it takes years. Well, you kind of do when you tour together.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
so
It's a different
so
lifestyle.
we know each other. I would say that we know each other.
Yeah.
And I would say, I won't say that I know you better than anybody. I certainly don't. But I will say, having known you for this long, having watched many beach sunsets together, I would say the same. I would say that is, I would say the same about you. That's like one thing that is hard to deny when you know Danny Lopez. Very true. So you, Danny Lopez, Miami, Florida, Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Miami, then Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something, you know.
All right.
But yeah,
Okay. Miami,
Yeah.
Florida.
Proper. Uh-huh.
Diverse community,
Yeah.
diverse
Big time.
upbringing.
Big time.
Music is so important.
Yeah.
The purpose of this whole conversation is about talking to people who have chosen to do something unconventional with their life.
Yeah.
That, I don't even know how to define that.
Right.
Because how do you define what convention is when it comes to making a living or following, your calling?
Yeah.
And that looks different for everybody. So I don't ever want to throw out the misconception that well, if you work a 9 to 5, you're not following your calling. Like, that's not the purpose here. But what was it for you that made you decide, this is what I was put on this earth to do. I'm going to do it. Because you are 4 years old, 5 years old, playing music in front of people. That blows.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a 5-year-old
Yeah.
who thinks he can shred. He thinks he's Jimi Hendrix.
He's amazing.
What is that? What is that like to be 5 years old? And you're playing music in front of people and it's actually working.
The biggest influence at 5 are your parents.
Yeah.
So both my parents are very musical, creatives. My mom was a singer. Super involved in the church. They were, I grew up a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
So my dad is very musical. He sings as well. He's the pastor of the church. And during the worship set, he's playing guitar. My mom's leading worship, and my brother is playing drums. So I think around 2 years old, the only thing left on stage was the bass. So at 2 years old, I'm just seeing my family up there. So I'm like, I'm gonna go up there too. And there's pictures of me just with the bass being on a stand, just sitting there. Just me going up to it and gravitating to it and just playing. At 2 years old. So I'm not good at this point.
You're
I'm
also
just going up there.
a third of the size of the bass.
Oh, I mean, it's if watching a player play upright. It was that vibe, this massive bass, and I'm just doom doom doom.
That's crazy.
And I remember we had this huge bass amp at the church. It was 6 speakers. It was insane. It was double my size.
Yeah.
And sometimes it would be on. It was just on. So I would walk up and just boom, 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 boom. And my dad
Full
would
diaper.
come over. Yeah, literally. And my dad during the song would just step away and try to lower the volume. And I'd look at him nah.
Oh, yeah.
And I would go
Let's
back
go.
up and turn it up.
Rock and roll. And it just never stopped.
Never stop.
You never set it down. So you literally pick it up at 2 years old. You just don't set it down. When was the first time for you that you were I'm good at this?
Yeah.
There's something here. I think this is it for me.
Yeah. I think I was I have memories of me being 10 years old.
Yeah.
And there was a talent show happening at the school.
Yeah.
And I remember I had this super heavy PV bass, old school. The case was hard shell. And I literally would walk to school in the morning with this bass. It's huge. I mean, at 10 years old, I'm still short and small and you know what I'm saying? And I'm carrying this big old bass. And I'm just going to school only because the talent show was happening in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And the teachers would allow me for 30 minutes in the day
Yeah.
to go practice bass for the talent show. So they would lock me into the storage room where they had all these books, and I would take out my bass.
Yeah.
And I would practice for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And around the age of 10 and 11, just me practicing, like really like, now I'm practicing technique, and I'm practicing how to properly play. You know, it's not this like, I'm a kid and I'm like bashing cymbals, and, you know, like already, you know, from 5 to like 10, I'm learning, I'm being vigilant. My brother's a bass player, so I'm like always hearing him play, and I'm hearing all the like big kids play. And because my brother is 7 years older than me, I'm always around the big kids. I'm always around the teenagers. So at this point, I've been surrounded by like these older dudes that are musicians that are killing. So that's already in me. And these guys, like, it's crazy. It's funny. And I think the way you can confirm a purpose, in a way, in a big way, like without you doing anything, is how the people around you react.
That's
you know, so
real.
If everyone around you is just like putting like yes, and like giving you opportunity, that is a very clear signal of like, this is what you're meant to do, because everyone can confirm and can affirm you in this.
Right. There's something crazy that happens because I think maybe in some regard in the music space and the creative space, I feel like everybody has like a similar background story of like, I was a kid and somebody who wasn't mom or dad believed in me.
Yeah, 100%.
Like whether it was a teacher or a pastor or you know, a friend of a big brother, somebody who wasn't mom and dad believed in me. Not that mom and dad believing in you is important too.
It's important,
you know what I mean?
super
but
important.
There is, I think even as a kid, you almost kind of take it for granted.
Yeah.
Like, well, they love me.
They're
my
always
parents.
around.
They're always around. Of course, they believe in me. Ha. But there's something that happens the moment somebody sees you and goes like, "Oh no, Danny, over there."
Yeah.
And also like to hand you responsibility.
Yeah. Young.
You're going to, you know, depending on the kind of person you are, that's the fork in the road. You're going to either take that responsibility and you're going to steward it well, make the most of it, take it very serious, and get better, because you don't want to let these people down.
Yeah.
And you don't want to look like an idiot.
And there's so many people that I remember them by name and it'd be the longest list of all time.
Yeah.
That
you can actually start alphabetically now.
Oh my God. No, these
Alfred,
people.
Alfonso.
They're all Spanish names, bro. Wilfredo, Miguel, Junito, Julito. Like all of them. No, these people would pick me up to go to rehearsals. And like, I mean, I'm a kid. I don't have a car. So they would invest in me. Yeah. So all the way from like 2 to 18, there are a huge list of people that would invest time. And like, I think as adults now, me as an adult now, I'm like, man, how can I invest in someone else? Because the only reason and we will talk about it where, you know, what I've done, whatever, like the only reason I'm doing the things I'm doing now as an almost 30-year-old man is because of all of the people that were older than me that had a car, you know, that saw in me.
Yeah. Music's always been important in my family, but it's never been a profession in my family.
Wow.
And in fact, you know, very blue collar, very normal route in life, you know, in the best way. Yeah. And I actually think that was probably unintentionally, that was probably the best protection for me to keep going, was that there was nobody there forcing me in the way that like a star high school quarterback is going to force his son. I get up there, and then he looks at his dad and he goes, "That's not my dream, Daddy. That's your dream." Like that whole thing, that trope doesn't really play out in the music world, I feel like, as much. Yeah.
I did have family that did this professionally.
Yeah.
There's a few guys that have done it at like super, like cousins I have that have done it at super high levels.
We live in Nashville, so it's not as rare here.
Here, yeah. But in Florida and other aspects, like, I mean, I have family, and everyone in my family is musical and creative, like incredible. Not everyone has done it full time, you know? Now these cousins that I had, like, they were like older than me. They're like at least like 10 years older than me. Yeah. So, and didn't live near me. They were like in a different part of Florida. So I graduate high school. I have this vivid, like, I graduate high school. Yeah. My brother, you know, my brother's the best, like my best friend. And he asked me like, okay, you're 18, you just graduated, what's next for you? And I was like, man, I don't like, obviously I want to do music, but there's only one person that could take me to the next level. because he's been there.
Yeah.
And it was my cousin. His name is Joey Lopez. Pianist, incredible. Like I would watch his YouTube video. Like he would, play out with different artists, and I would watch every YouTube video he had on there. Like, and I would learn all his licks. Like to this day, I kind of sound like him. Like there's little like flavors of like I stole from him because we're family and there's love. He tells me like, hey, I don't know what you're up to, but I would love for you to move up here and maybe take an internship at the church and just like be around.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And this is a crazy part because I'm 29 years old right now. It's February. Literally 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Before, like 10 years ago, at this point that we're shooting this, 10 years ago, I was in this waiting season. It wasn't until I moved to Indiana. Spoiler alert. I moved to Indiana in April of 2015.
Yeah.
And in that whole time, August to April, I am like, oh, I have to be open because I don't know what's going to happen. There's nothing confirmed, but I have to risk it all for the chance because I know this is my one chance to take it up a notch.
Yeah.
To like really step into things that like I can't do on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for all of these months. And I remember February of 2015, literally 10 years ago, I am freaking out because I'm like, I am waiting. There's nothing confirmed. I don't have anything going on. And it's actually, fast forward, spoiler alert now, it's like I'm in a similar season.
Yeah.
And dude, in April of 2015, I moved to Indiana and I take this internship job and kind of like the rest is history kind of vibe in the sense of I spend 2 years working at this church. I'm learning right, like in close proximity to one of the people that like have influenced my musicality. So I'm learning how to produce. I'm learning leadership skills at the church. I'm the MD. Like even though I was an intern, I was the MD.
Yeah, you're leading the band.
So I'm leading the band. I'm picking guys. I was creating arrangements.
Yeah.
So,
dude, and the church is such a great incubator for musicians who are learning how to do this. Like, it's not always healthy.
Sure.
But I think that there is I really do think that there is something to most, I don't know, man. I don't know for sure. I feel like most people who have successful careers in performance art started in the church.
Well, the church is the only place that a 2-year-old can play
right.
and grow up to be an adult.
And people are gonna be cool with it. Be hands off.
It's the only place you can't. I can't go to a theater. Or a show. And be like,
sure.
I'm a 2-year-old. Can I play? Like what?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
To your point too about it's funny when you wind that clock back. You said the rest is history, and it's that suddenly you're there's that 10-year cycle, and now you're kind of somewhat back in the same place, although in a very very different way. Yeah. This is funny because this was 10 years ago for me. That same year, a mentor told me I was in a very strange place, and a mentor told me, life is a spiral path up a mountain, and you will. For the rest, and it goes on about 10-year cycles. And the thing about it is you're never in the same place twice. You're always moving upward. But you are going to walk past the space you were in the first time. And you'll pass it again and again and again and again. And, depending on how tall your mountain is.
Wow.
And so there is really something to, you're going to go back to that same season over and over again. It's always going to be a little different. You're going to be a little higher, hopefully.
Yeah, 100%.
But you'll see it.
I'm imagining if 29-year-old Danny could talk to 19-year-old Danny, and just the worries that the 19-year-old had.
Yeah.
And the things that I don't think that's possible. If I could just tell him, hey, buddy, you gonna be just fine. Yeah. But it calmed me down for this next potential decade because I'm like, okay, Danny, 39-year-old Danny would probably...
Father of 10.
Yeah, Jesus. Oh, my God. Once a year.
Father of 10. So you got 10 months left. And then...
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
bro. Jesus.
Dude, you're so right.
Bro,
you will
it calmed me down today.
Yeah,
I kind of woke up this morning oh my God, this decade, wow. But I'm like, wait, This next decade is we're probably gonna be fine. We'll be okay.
Dude, it's fine. It's always fine.
It's always fine.
It's always fine.
Yeah.
The only times that it's not fine are when like you yourself are not fine.
Yeah,
It is like shocking how much you can endure when the state of your soul is healthy. You know what I mean? Like it's
Absolutely.
It's shocking. Now, I don't say that's I don't want to trivialize like hard times
No.
we're going through.
Right.
At all. But I will say the best people that I know have been through some of the worst stuff.
Yeah.
And I thank God that I have not gone through most of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes me a bad person.
No. I mean,
Danny.
bad things happen to good people.
Bad
and
things happen
good things happen to bad people.
Yeah, for sure.
It's something that we don't control.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to let that go. And when you can, you'll be in a better place. Just for the viewers. You could be in a better place. You get to choose it.
You get to choose.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
at this point, you're how old are you now? At that, you're 20?
Yeah,
19,
I'm
20 years old?
19, turning 20 years old, and I move out there. And
Yeah. And you're there for a couple years.
Yeah, 2
You're
years.
doing your thing. You're in the woodshed.
Woodshed, man.
Like,
It was like
just
my college years,
learning.
really.
It's college.
Just learning, man.
Did you go to college?
No, I went for like 3 months.
Okay.
And part of the leap of faith was like it was that summer of 2014. I didn't have any money. I worked at like a tech office. I worked in tech, but I was like cleaning and like
right on.
you know what I'm saying?
You worked at Tech.
I worked there, you know, but it was like very gracious of a friend.
Yeah.
That like would just like, oh yeah, just come through and hang out for a few hours and clean here and there and just hang.
Yeah.
And he would give me, I don't remember, probably like $50 or something.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. A Subway gift card.
Yeah, you know, and it was great.
A used Subway gift card. He's like, he already got his, but he's like, there's the rest of this.
Here's the rest of it.
Toilet's overflowed.
Yeah, exactly. And when I came back, I finally was taking a music theory class. It was it was the new like semester.
You're at community college? Where are you?
Yeah, community college. The first class, I took a little test, and that was the day where I had to decide if I keep going, I'm not gonna like have, because I had to pay for books and stuff.
Yep.
I think I only had like $1,000 to my name. So in the books, because
insane.
it was gonna be like my $1,000 were gonna be gone. So in August of 2014, I had to make a decision. That first day, I only went one day, and I was like, do I take this $1,000 and buy these books and just continue to school and just for the hopes of like maybe I'll still leave to Indiana, or I save those $1,000 and I just figure it out from here to whenever they call me. And that's something my cousin doesn't know. Like I took a leap of faith of like, I need this money to make it out there because I have nothing else to my name.
Yeah.
And there's no real way for me to make money right now. So it's like, I have to make a decision. Yeah. And I remember telling my mom, like I was the first person to go to college in our immediate family.
Oh, same.
So it was like, she was like, oh, you can't do that. And I was like, look, and I told her a story that like, it may be true. I think it's true. I think it's true. But you know, Berkeley School of Music in Boston is like, it's like this school that like, it's the school to go to. And I told her like, look, the reality is, again, I don't know if this was right. Maybe I'll watch the YouTube video on this, but the reality is that most people that school has a huge dropout rate. Oh, because if you get the gig, that's why you're going to school, is to get the gig. So I was just like, hey, this is my version of getting the gig. Yep. And thankfully, my mom was. Did
she kind of did she understand that?
She understood that after I told her. She was very like, I want you to get your education.
I don't think you misled her in that.
No, I don't think. Well, thankfully, 10 years later, we're fine.
It worked out. But I don't think you misled her at all. Yeah. Like, I think that you are so spot on. Like, I mean, how many people do you know who are college dropouts?
Oh,
me. I'm one.
Yeah.
And I did a similar thing.
Especially in our industry.
For sure.
You know, I think school is a really incredible thing. Some people go through it, and some people go through it and they get, you know, jobs that, you know, incredible jobs. Like schooling, it's very just, it depends on the person. It depends on the situation.
Depends on your field.
You know
probably the best advice I was ever given, ever. And I don't even think he meant it as advice. I think he might've just been trying to get me out of his office. Was I was a music performance major, trombone performance.
Sick. That's sick though.
And I was in my 4th year, but I was not a senior. I was so far behind.
Yeah.
But I had an opportunity come up here. in Nashville. And it was really intimidating because I'm not a good student. Ironically, I love to learn. But at, 18, 19 years old, I was just so focused on other things, especially music, like practical music. I was already gigging, working, playing, building something. I had a band, we were touring and doing school at the same time. And an opportunity comes up and I went into his office because I was really torn about what to do about it. Because I felt a lot of guilt. Like, do I leave? This is a lot of money. I'm the first to do this. I'm the first in my family to go to a university. Do I leave? What do I do? And I go into his office and my parents were so supportive. But it's that thing like we talked about earlier, where it's like until sometimes it takes someone else to really, really believe in you, who's not mom and dad, to kind of push you off the edge. So I go into my wind ensemble director. His name was Dr. Craig Hamilton. And I went into his office and I was like, hey, Dr. Hamilton, this is what's going on. And this is this, opportunity that's come up. And I really don't know what to do. And he said, universities aren't going anywhere. We'll always be here. This, if it's what you say it is, will likely not come again. Now, he was wrong. And I only say that because it didn't work out, but it got me here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so in a lot of ways, I had to take that step first. You know what I mean? I had to kind of take a leap of faith. No one's going to give you the answer, right? Especially when it's like entrepreneurial, when it's creative, when it's, you're making your own path. You're sort of like, doing the thing that you do that sort of sets you apart from most of the people you know when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no blueprint for what you do at all. So it's kind of a funny piece of advice. Like normal life will always be here.
Wow.
But this may not be. Yeah. These opportunities don't present themselves to everybody. Maybe you should try.
Well, yeah. I think part of the career of being a musician, right? 99% of it, the way you get into it is chance. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to take a leap.
Yeah.
And not like we've talked about this on the road, like the percentage of people that actually make all of their income from music.
It's so
just
low.
Music is like under 1%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's the same as astronauts.
Yes.
That's nuts.
It's my favorite fun fact.
Remember when we learned that on the road, and then like the next day we met an astronaut?
We met an astronaut.
Like, come on.
It's there's what, like 46 astronauts.
Yeah, globally in total, like the amount that have done it,
it's
like the percentages. I don't remember the numbers, but like the percentages are like basically the same.
Yeah,
of people who like solely support themselves on money that has come only from music.
Yeah. It's a very low number. So low number. There's a change, and this is a field that it's not necessarily that you're the best.
No, you and I both know.
You know what I'm saying? Like the best of the best doesn't always get the job.
No way.
If ever, yes, that there's a case there, but we're in Nashville, Tennessee. How many incredible musicians come here?
Everyone here is better than me.
Bro, it's insane. So there's so much more that entails for us to get this job.
Yeah.
And now, how many years have you been a full-time musician?
Oh, man. I moved here in 2010. I've been touring. This is my 15th year touring. 15 years.
So that's incredible. It's for me, my first, because I interned for 2 years there. So like I would say 2017.
Right.
Till now, it's been like this is my career.
Yeah.
This is like what I'm doing, and
it's a long time.
It's a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like to do it and to do it at the levels that we like. I thought about this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me personally, like I've done the smallest of gigs you would think. Like to me, maybe like cocktail hour at a wedding. Like it's just you and a vocalist. Like I've done that, and then I've also we've done stadiums.
Yeah, bro.
60 to 70,000 people just watching you perform.
Yeah.
So I've played in front of one person and I've played in front of 70,000.
Yep.
So it's like that retrospective, like, oh,
yeah,
man, this is a blessing that we get to do this.
It is.